So Daily Caller has a letter that they claim is from an unidentified family member of George Zimmerman. And it's a letter to the Eric Holder and the Justice Department, basically accusing Eric Holder of being racist. Fascinating. Let's hear them out on this interesting theory. First of all, they talk about the National Black Panther Party, the new Black Panther Party, and how they put out a reward for Zimmerman. Now, let's be clear on what the reward is. It's $10,000 for the, quote, capture and citizen's arrest for George Zimmerman. Now, they didn't say go kill George Zimmerman. They didn't say go do violence on him. They said citizen's arrest. Now, am I in favor of this bounty, so-called bounty? No way. I think it's reprehensible. I think it's a terrible idea. I think it encourages violence. I don't like it when the right wing, and by the way, this is not some fringe group, when Republican legislators identify abortion doctors and then try to give out their personal information. It encourages violence. This encourages violence. It's a terrible idea. Okay, but can somebody be arrested based on this? Well, that's a different question, right? And Think Progress has a good quote explaining federal hate crimes here. They say federal hate crime statutes forbid the use of dangerous weapons to cause bodily injury to someone because of their race. Now, obviously, that's not the case here. And they also forbid threats of force that hinder certain protected activities such as voting or receiving federal financial assistance. That also appears not to be the case here. This is not a voting issue. This is not a federal financial issue. Now, understand, that's why the federal authorities can't do anything about it, because as despicable as this so-called bounty is, it doesn't seem to violate federal law. Now, local authorities might be able to do something about it, and they should pursue that. I really believe that if I was in that community, I would want the local authorities to look into this to see if it incites violence, okay? Now, that's not going to stop the Zimmerman family from insinuating that Eric Holder is being racist by not doing something. Who's he being racist against, by the way? White people, of course. So they say, first of all, they warn generally about blacks in the letter. Quote, many in the black community have formed what many are calling a lynch mob against George Zimmerman. Who's calling it a lynch mob? I mean, you're calling it a lynch mob. And look, I'm concerned about it. I think they should look into it. But already the entire black community has been painted with this, even though it is a ridiculous fringe group. The Black Panther Party did you know they're suing the new Black Panther Party for trying to take their name? They're like, we don't want to be associated with these clowns. But no, now all of a sudden it's many in the black community that are doing it. So they go on to ask, why is your office not arresting the new Black Panthers for hate crimes? Well, I think we explained that fairly well because it's not in their purview, right? But of course, they're not going to listen to that. They continue. DOJ has maintained an eerie silence on this matter. You know, I gave you that quote out of this long letter. Why? Because it's almost word for word exactly what they're saying on Fox News right now. We played you the clips. Department of Justice. Why isn't Eric Holder doing anything? There's an eerie silence from Eric Holder. These guys, I don't know if they're egged on by Fox News or if they're, now that they see Fox News is saying the same things, they're like, yes, yes, let's make it political and let's pretend that it's not that George Zimmerman shot Trayvon Martin because of his race, even though the terrible things he said on the 911 call, including effing coons, and said they always do, they always get away, all this stuff. No, he's not the racist. It turns out the people that are not investigating the threats against George Zimmerman are the racists. Of course, I know, George Zimmerman is the victim, right? And then they continue. Many people that I know, and many that I don't, believe that racism is the only reason that this group has not been rounded up yet. Because you know how they are. Now, if they were just talking about the new Black Panther Party, again, it would be a separate conversation. If they were talking about local authorities looking into the matter, it would be a separate conversation. But when they say Eric Holder is not doing this at the federal level, and that many blacks are looking to lynch mob George Zimmerman, well then the implication is very clear. But you know what? They don't need implication, they're just going to flat out say it. Here it comes. I would surmise that based on your own definition of a hate crime, you have chosen not to arrest these individuals based solely on your race. There is no other explanation. In other words, you're black, and hence you must be supporting the new Black Panther Party, and you're racist against white people. Well, that's brilliant.
Leave it, I'm sorry, man. Leave it to to folks like this. If you listen to what they're saying, man, black folks enslaved white people. They've gotten away with crimes throughout the entire history of America. White people have been persecuted and downtrodden by black people. There's been so many black presidents that now we finally have our first white president. Wait, how's everything that's absolutely that people can complain about from one side, which they're sick of black folks complaining about, they decide to complain about and just have absolutely no basis for it. All because you're racist. This black Department of Justice, which I don't know how it is that, is just out there trying to shut down white people because that's been the history of our country. When are we gonna get free? I want my 40 acres and a mule. Well, what is amazing?
White conservatives asking for 40 acres and a mule. I love that.